9. Okay, today we'll talk about palm oil industry. Okay, for our members, we have Muhammad Amirul Akmal bin Mansur, F20A0451. Myself, Ali Akila binti Abdul Ghani, F20A0703. Sindu Priya anak perempuan Ravi Chandran, F20A0597. Muhammad Aiman Hakimi bin Sabaruddin, F20B0673. And Nurul Atika Arifin, F20B0559. For the oil palm oil's production is critical to Malaysian economies, which is the world's second largest producer of the commodity to Indonesia. The Malaysian Palm Oil Board (MPOB) is a government entity that was in charge of promoting and developing the country's palm oil business. The palm oil industry generates around 90 million tons of lignocellulose biomass, which include empty fruit branches, oil palm trunk, and oil palm frond, as well as palm oil mill influence pomi. For the volume, the oil palm industry remains as a significant sector in Malaysian economy, contributing 4.5% to the Malaysian gross domestic product (GDP) in 2018. The total oil palm planted area was recorded at 5.67 million hectares in 2022. That was decrease of 1.1% against 5.74 million hectares in the previous year. Is one of the world's largest palm oil exporters that in 2020, Malaysia accounted for 25.8% and 34.3% of the world palm oil production and export. Respectively, it was taking into account others oil and fats produced in the country. Malaysia accounted for 9.1 and 19.7 of the world's total production and export of oil and fat in the same year. Felda were the largest palm oil plantation with 811,140 hectares of the palm oil trees in Malaysia Peninsula of Sabah and Sarawak. For the values, the export of palm oil and oil palm production generate 108,000.52 billion in revenue for Malaysia in 2021. It was stated in MPOB, and it's noteworthy that palm oil is the one of the major contributors to the nation export revenue, aside from electrical and electronic products as well as petroleum products. Oil palm cultivation needs continuous improvement to meet increasing demand and calls for a sustainably supply system that have intensified globally. For the users, it was being the employs high skilled and low skilled laborers, adding new jobs to the Malaysian economy every year. For the needs of the users, the oil palm tree produce high quality oil used primarily for cooking in developing countries. It is also used in a food product, detergent, cosmetic, and to a small extent biofuel.
Next, I will be talking about one of the traits of interest to be improved in oil palm, which is low height increment. I will discuss why this trait is important and how it can be improved. What is slow height increment? Slow height increment is a trait that refers to the rate at which an oil palm tree grows in height. Why is slow height increment important? There are two main reasons why slow height increment is important in oil palm. First, it makes harvesting easier. Second, slow height increment increase load resistance. How can slow height increment be improved? One way is to select for naturally slow growing trees is to use SNPS single nucleotide polymorphism, are genetic markers that are commonly used in mass. SNPS are changed in a single DNA base pair that can be used to track the inheritance of genes. SNP variation in the EGESP4 gene affect that function of the expansin protein, which lead to the change in the growth of stem. The result in a slower growth rate in trees with the SNP variation.
Biology of the crop reproductive system of oil palm. Oil palm is a diploid, perennial monocotyledonous plant. It is naturally cross-pollinated, monoecious and allogamous. This means that it produces both male and female flowers on the same plant and that the pollen from the male flowers must be transferred to the female flowers in order for fertilization to occur. Pollination in oil palm is a complex process that involves the transfer of pollen grains from the male flowers to the stigma of the female flowers. The pollen grains are produced in the anthers of the male flowers and they are released when the anthers dehisce. Oil palm reproduce by seed propagation. This means that the new plants are produced from seeds. The seeds are produced in the fruits of the female flowers. Methods of propagation. There are three main methods of propagation. oil palm. The first one is seed propagation, tissue culture, and root cutting.
Single nucleotide polymorphism (SNP) variation is one of the methods that can be used in palm oil breed. First materials, palm oil, were planted in a randomized complete block design with 2 replication. Then, palm height was measured from the ground to the base of front 41 at 8 years after planting. After that, all analyses were conducted using statistical analysis software SAS version 9.1. Genomic DNA was extracted from frozen spare leaf using the modified cetylene 3-methyl ammonium bromide CTAB method. And then marker trait association analysis was performed according to the general linear model GLM and mixed linear model MLM using trait analysis by association, evolution, and linkage TASSEL software to determine physical location of the high increment associated SNP marker in oil palm genome. The flanking sequence of the SNP marker was run in a blast search against the oil palm reference genome sequence.
Hi, my name is Sindhu Priya and I will be explaining about justification of the approach that we chose, which is single nucleotide polymorphism. We chose this because this is a source of polymorphic markers for use in the highlight resolution genetic mapping of traits. This is actually very cost effective to use in this plant breeding section. This SNP is a comprise the most abundant molecular markers in the genome. It also creates high density genetic maps. Other than that, SNP markers associate with phenotype changes to pinpoint the functional genome we should choose. Finally, it can be concluded as they are excellent markers for studying complex genetic traits and for understanding genomic evaluation. These also make them suitable and easier to follow in population studies. In this oil palm industry plant breeding techniques, we can conclude that the global oil palm industry is a major component of contemporary agriculture, supplying food to billions of people, plus a hotspot of non-food products, and also it is contributing to the tropical forests and peatlands. And it will contribute the research and development sector of oil palm industry and also the economic of Malaysia agriculture sector. Thank you.